Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 11 of real estate school for high school students. This class, we're going to jump in to how you can start generating leads as a finder. Start working right now. Just like I said, hey guys, I'm teaching. Just like I said, there's no reason for you to wait to start your real estate career. You can start right now. There are things that you can start doing to start putting yourself in the right direction to start, really becoming successful. And one of those things is tune into this class. So we've got Susan Ebert right now in the queue. She's going to teach you guys about door knocking. And then Christian Stone is going to talk to you guys about cold calling. And then Melissa Huk, who is also in the green room right now, is going to teach everyone about open houses. As I said last week, and I'm going to put you on the spot here one more time, James. I've told the story a couple of times. You're Facebook famous. I said, no matter what, I brought up you asking about becoming successful in your first year in real estate. So your amount of success will be defined by the amount of awkward conversations you're willing to have, right? So if you're not willing to cold call, you need to hold open houses. If you're not holding open houses, you're not cold calling, then you're going to need to door knock. And so right now, no matter what it is that you want to do, we've got the right person for you. So I don't necessarily love cold calling. I love open houses. Door knocking is absolutely terrifying, but the person that is the best in the world at it right now, Susan Ebert, is here to teach you a little bit about it. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up as to what to expect this week in your free high school class for real estate agents for high school students. And this is, like I said, day 11. So today's Monday, talking door knocking, dialing, and open houses. It's all about prospecting. You don't have to wait to get licensed to get paid commission. This is absolutely 100% legal in the state of California. You can work as what is called as a real estate finder, an agent in training, a student, and you can find and identify people who need to buy and sell real estate. So how do we do that? Well, today we started Commission Boot Camp for the adults. They already spent 2 hours generating leads right here in school and with their laptops open. Tuesday through Thursday, we jump right back into the boring stuff and we read all of the school material that nobody else wants to teach you guys, nobody else wants to learn. But that's how I found out about the Finder program. There's so much wisdom, so much great information in these books. We just have to be willing to be a little bit bored. And then Friday, we're going to dive into the Socratic discussion so that everybody can start thinking a little bit objectively about their business. Had a lot of fun last Friday talking about which is the best social media platform to launch your new business. Next, we're going to talk about what form of lead generation is your favorite. So whether it is door knocking, cold calling, or open houses, we're going to talk about lead generation today. And then I want to encourage you guys to read Dear Serpa's Broke New Agent. Somebody wrote me a Dear Serpa column in a Lab Code Agent saying, I am broke. I am a new agent. I don't know how to generate leads. And so I wrote that blog here. And then, of course, if you're a scholarship student, if you don't yet have access to the First Tuesday real estate curriculum yet, feel free to reach out to me and let's get you in touch with Rosie Rodriguez, our scholarship director, so that we could get you spun up. Like I said, Commission Boot Camp is underway, so we got that up and running. But right now, without further ado, what I am going to do is bring Christian Stone onto the program. Oh no, not Christian Stone, Susan Ebert. I almost gave Christian a heart attack here. Okay, he would have been good anyway. All right, special guest, Susan Ebert. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm good in between my bad choices. How are you?
I am excellent as well. Don't talk too much about your bad choices today, my friend. Well, this is the high school course. We'll wait until next week to get into that.
That means eating the extra hamburger.
Okay, good. Okay, so you, my friend, have taught door knocking in front of a bus full of people, listening to you speaking on a loudspeaker. What is it about door knocking that is so wonderful for you? And can you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Ebert. I'm a local broker here who has had the pleasure of working with David for several years. And so I'm the lucky one because I get to hang out with him. Anyway, I love door knocking because it's exciting. You get to meet new people. It's like you have your own little sitcom and you go from door to door. Like when I was a server, I was a restaurant server, and I would go to one table and I would say, "Hi, my name is Jessica," but my name was Susan, and my name tag said Susan. I had my own little audience, and I could do my own little spiel, and it was a blast. And so I love door knocking because I feel like every door is a new audience that I get to go meet, and I have this illusion that I make new friends everywhere I go. Even though they're acquaintances. And I like face-to-face connection. I think that that's easier for me. I can do it behind the phone, but I like when I have a connection face-to-face with someone. That just is easier for me.
Awesome. It really is. I love when you talk about knock knock knock. When are you moving? Is that,
Yes.
is that when
Yes,
are you moving?
that's what it is.
Yeah, and so
Moving.
you make it simple, you make it fun, and you're always such a joy to listen to. So at this point, I'm going to pass you the floor, my friend, and I'm going to sit back
Okay.
and take notes on my own.
Because I'm pretty sure we probably wrote this class together, but whatever. Okay, so first things first. I'm going to watch my clock because I talk a lot, and I have a lot of useless things to say, and I have some valuable things to say. First and foremost, a real estate agent needs systems. What is a system? This just means that when you get put into a circumstance, you know what to do next. So, for example, if you are going to prospect, and we all need to choose our prospecting avenue, whether we're going to door knock or cold call or internet harvesting or work with our friends and family, we have to choose that. And so, for example, on my door knocking days, my system was I knew where I was going to go. I planned my day. I knew how many doors I was going to knock on. I had my script and my little clipboard. I had my tracking folder so that I would track how many doors I knocked on. And I had my follow-up plan. I literally carried with me thank you cards, and it was nice to meet you, in the trunk of my car. And every time I would meet someone, I already had a stamped little with a business card, thank you card, it was nice to meet you, and I put it in the mail immediately. This is a system, knowing what we're doing from the beginning until the end. I always say we're going to do 4 things. We're going to, as a real estate agent, it's really fun. You're going to work with a buyer, you're going to work with a seller, you're going to market a house, and you're going to market yourself. One of my scripts or a dialogue that I have used a lot is simply that I'm going to give you good news, I'm going to give you bad news, I'm going to give you the progress of the transaction, and I promise to navigate through any hiccups with you. That's just first and foremost on my list of things. So, what is door knocking? Door knocking is literally just hunting for people, guys. You're hunting for the people that need help. I have to move my little notes. And so it's a prospecting technique for people who like to have face-to-face interaction. You really have to begin with mindset. We have to overcome the obstacle in our mind of we're not supposed to talk to strangers. So we have to make sure that we can talk to strangers. And it's really fun. The experiences and the excitement of knocking on a stranger's door and see what's going on behind it. I'm just nosy. So we have to overcome that first. And we can't have excuses. We will come up with excuses as entrepreneurs because lots of us are going 100 miles a minute, a lot of different directions, because that's the way our brains work. So congratulations on being here at such a young age and seeing what this is about so that you can see if you want a future in it. If I could encourage anyone, I would have started this in high school wholeheartedly. We want to make sure that we don't have those excuses. There's people that are door knocking in the snow, 3-foot snow in Oregon, and they put on their galoshes and they have their umbrellas and they still go. We have to still hunt for the people on a daily basis. And sometimes we're afraid. I like the acronym for FEAR, which is false evidence appearing real. That keeps my head in the game because I'm not supposed to talk to strangers, but I'm a little bit afraid. And what if someone yells at me, screams at me, or is mad at me, and all I did was knock on the door. I think it's fun to go with a lighthearted heart of you're just going to search for the people, just like we used to do when we had a scavenger hunt. When I was in grade school, we would go to birthday parties and we would do a scavenger hunt, and they would give us a list of items that we had to go knock on door to door to go try to find it. A shoelace, a paper clip, a tube of mascara, a sock, a thread, a needle. And so that's how I've always looked at door knocking, is that it's my little scavenger hunt in order to move forward, to find people who need help. And when you get done and David gets done teaching and training and mentoring you, you are going to be equipped to help people. And they need the help. So we need to remember to help them. Let's go look for them and help them. Door knocking is most regularly used in farming. Farming is choosing a geographical area where we go and we market to that particular amount of people in a geographical area, and we talk to them once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, but we door knock and we get to have a relationship with these folks. We get to create a big map and see the geography of where we're going. You can also farm, the police department, the movie industry, the San Diego Chargers. There's no San Diego Chargers anymore, never mind. The LA Chargers, doctors, lawyers. But when it comes to door knocking, we're dealing with a geographical area. And so I used to have a great big map in my garage, and it had the whole floor plan, basically the aerial view of my area. And there's a couple rules that I would follow. If someone was really naughty, I would come back and on my aerial view of my houses, I would color that house red. And if a dog was going to bite me, I would color it yellow. And if it was someone I wanted to talk to again and it was a positive experience, I would color it green. That's my system that I had in place. I had a great big map that I tracked the happy people, the medium people, and the unhappy people. I always want to make sure that I don't door knock on a house that has a for sale sign on it. When we knock on a door, we simply step back away from the door so that we're not intimidating when we go to that door, which sometimes nowadays when we knock on doors, people seem to just look through the peephole. So we want to step back and allow the people to see us. Wear comfortable shoes, still dress semi-casual, professional, business casual is what I would say. And then it's always nice to have something to pass out to them. So if you don't have anything to pass out, then you have your nice little face behind the door, and that is good enough. But lots of times people like to say, oh, I'm coming to the door for this reason. You're going to the door to find people who need help with real estate needs. They either need to list or buy. So you have to remember that. Anything that you put on a piece of paper, I don't mean to be mean, but basically is trash, and it's going to end up in their circular file called the trash can. So if you're going to create something to put on the door, or you have a purpose and you're going to do a garage sale and you're getting to know people in the community, don't take it too serious. You don't need to be a perfectionist on the marketing material when you're going out and door knocking. It's absolutely not required. Keep track of where you've been. There are tools and technology in this industry that are remarkable, and there's companies, title and escrow companies that come alongside us, and they have apps on the phone that can track where you have literally been, and you can keep notes in it, and that way you know where you've been. You don't necessarily have to door knock just in a geographical farm area, which is an exclusive marketing area as a real estate agent. You can door knock anywhere. Like David was saying, we used to get on a bus and I would wear a microphone, and then the people on the bus could hear. I would bring people to the doors so that they weren't scared, because overcoming that first knocking on the door is probably the biggest obstacle. Every day we role play. Every day we time block. This is your job. So now you're self-employed. So you got to make yourself get out of the bed, get up, get cleaned up, and go show up at your job. one of the best things I can suggest that you do is role play. Find a role play partner and practice what you're saying, practice funny responses and what happens behind a door. I had one door when we were on the bus and I had a microphone, and it was the last person of that day. And I always have fun when people have, you know, funny things at the door. You open it up and they're mad. So we had one that opened up and they were mad that we even came to the door, and they said something, we said, when do you plan on moving? And they were like, well, when a place, you know, down under freezes over. And I was like, well, I don't know when that's going to be. Do you? And it broke the ice. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Be natural. Oh, my lights shut off in my office because I have motion detector.
My lights do the same thing. Mine's on a timer. Go ahead and do what you need to do. I have to run up to the front of or back of my office and flick the timer back on. This is great. Susan, I'm definitely going to have some questions for you when you get done. The chat group has been, they got a couple for you, so I'm going to send it back to you.
Okay. So be prepared to entertain any circumstance. You don't know what's going on behind a door. You don't know if they're having a good time, a bad time, if you're going to get invited to a party, if they're going to yell, cuss, and scream at you, which that doesn't mean you get to do that. We have to behave. And so I've been invited into people's houses. I don't go in. I've been invited to their parties. I don't go in. I'm there to set an appointment. I'm there to meet people and see if they need help, and I want to set the appointment. So I don't spend too much time at a door, because I want to make sure that I'm setting that appointment and I'm going to my next door, and I'm on purpose working my purpose. So some days are good, some days are challenging. One of my favorite things that someone said to me, there's a team called KSA, Kim Steele and Associates, and I've heard them say, embrace the suck, which is not, that's a nice way of saying sometimes it's just going to stink a little bit. But it could be raining, it could be snowing. And you need to not take no as a rejection. It's not personal rejection. It just means that they don't need help yet. And so I used to always count my no's. I would knock on a door and then I would keep my little tracking. And if it was a no, I was like, okay, how many no's do I have to go through in order to make this happen, right? How many people are they going to say no to me before I get someone? And so I loved that. We use a script. And so I want to talk to you about a script. A script is a dialogue that we automatically say by memory. And some people say, oh, I don't want to use the script. I don't want to sound like a computer, but you don't when you're just talking to people. You can carry a clipboard, you can track, you can write the answers to the questions and right there standing in front of them. But a dialogue that we automatically say is an example like, if I was to meet you, I'd say, hi. And then you would say, hi, back. That's a script. So don't be afraid of a script. It's just a dialogue that's already been proven to work by several door knockers. So it's about meeting people and setting the appointment. So I love a script. So let me tell you about my script. My script was very simple. I learned it from someone named Bill Nasby. We called him Nasby's Knuckles because he would knock on all those doors. And I would simply knock on the door. I would back up and I would say, and I'm going to use my current company name. I would say, hi, I'm Susan. When do you plan on moving? And that was all I would say, because I'm hunting for the people who need to move. So I'd say, hey, when do you plan on moving? And they'd be like, well, we don't plan on moving. I'd say, well, how long have you lived here? And they would say, oh, 3 years. And I would say, oh, gosh, I live in the neighborhood too. I've been here 2 years. Where did you guys move from? And they would tell me, oh, Joliet, Illinois. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my father is in the prison there. No, not really. He wasn't in prison there, but that's a place where there's a local prison. So that's supposed to be funny. And then I ask, if you were to move, if life were perfect and you could go anywhere, where would you go? And a lot of people will say, well, my mom's getting up in years in Montana and I want to be able to go help her. That's probably where I'd go. And then you simply say, when will that be? Now, you can go from a harsh conversation and an aggressive question of, when do you plan on moving, to when will that be? and it softens the conversation. So we go in with a question, hunting question, and then we go into the conversation of how long have you lived here? Where did you come from? If life were perfect and you could go anywhere, where would you go? When will that be? And then I do a thing called the SERPA. So I fondly call this the SERPA, because David Serpa is the king of this. I would say that referrals are the backbone of my business. Who do you know right now that needs to list or buy? And I would say I pride myself on making you the most informed seller in the neighborhood. I'm going to go ahead and put you onto my email list and keep in touch with you. And then I would look down and I'd say, what's your email address? And look down, and you don't look up. You just keep looking down. David used to do this.
That's exactly it.
You just keep looking down until they give you the information. And then you have the ability to follow up with them and put them into your database, set the appointment, get to know them. And it creates an instant rapport, but you need to not look up, okay? So I used to literally carry around with me this script. I carried this piece of paper with me and I wrote the answers to the questions on my script. And then while I was door knocking, I literally had a tracking sheet and I tracked how many doors I would knock on, how many were no's, because that kept me positive in a little bit of a challenging experience. And then I would move forward, go to the next door, keep my colors of red, yellow, or green. Do I ever want to go to that door again? But it's a wonderful opportunity to create a rapport immediately, face to face, not behind a phone. So that's why I love door knocking. I believe in scripts. I believe you just need to have and be prepared from what your day is going to look like from the morning until the afternoon, and then be prepared to what's going to come next after you've met someone and you find out they need your help. And David will teach you all of that stuff and how to help them. And that's the fun part. So do you have any questions?
Wow, Susan Ebert, I do have quite a couple. I have a couple of questions for you from the class, and then I have a few questions for you myself. Starting with, what is the best time of day to door knock, and what is the best day of the week?
Okay, so everybody has a different philosophy about this. And I always think the door knock is when you're going to actually do it. So any system, if you're going to do it, you need to do it. I personally door knocked in the morning. And so because I knew that kids had been taken to school and moms were, but I also loved the afternoons. So I door knocked for 2.5 hours a day. I would go up 25 doors and come back 25 doors back to my car. Usually it took me 1.5 to 2 hours to get that done. And I always wanted to get at least 1,000 in a month. So I was doing that 5 days a week. Wait, what was your question?
It was, when was the best time of day, and what's the best day to door knock?
Okay, so Saturday mornings are always the best because everybody's home and they're out doing community garage sales or they're having yard sales. Everybody's home and they're in a good mood because they're off work. So I loved Saturday mornings, but I was guilty of doing it in the morning, and I started literally at 9 after I thought all the kids were at school at 8, and I was there till 9 to about 11. But 4 to 6 in the afternoon, when people are coming home from work, when we know that people are home, is the best time to go. But truly, the answer is when you're going to go do it.
I agree with you 100%. I think that people, what's the best CRM? The one you use, right? What's the best time right now? Now is always the best time, right? And
yes.
And then there was another question for you. Those 2 sheets that you shared with us, would you be willing to share that with me so that I could send that to the class?
Of course.
Cool, awesome. I loved your acronym for FEAR. False evidence appearing real is excellent. The aerial view, printing out a map, is so incredibly important. If you can't measure it, you can't market it. And so if you're going to start a kingdom, you've got to be able to measure your kingdom, right?
Yep.
And then I love what you said about farming police departments, farming football teams, things like that. It's not just a geographic region. It's any type of dynamic, demographic, et cetera, and so forth. Don't door knock listed homes. I made that mistake before, or I did not personally, but somebody on my team did, and I heard about it.
Oh, I did it. I did it. I like to learn my lessons the hard way.
People make mistakes. People make mistakes.
Yeah.
And then standing back, dressing professionally. If you're interested in body language, this is something that Susan Ebert and I have studied a lot of. Neurologistic programming, NLP, is a different type of body language study. It's basically like how to become a Jedi. And then I love having a handout, garage sales, events, different things that you're doing for the community, giving them some sort of a takeaway. And then, of course, working a title relationship so that if you need this data, if you need the information, a great place to get that for free is going to be from your title rep. Embracing the suck. KSA is actually going to be here teaching team leads. We're teaching about how to be a team lead, and what a team is all about. And then not taking it personally. So absolutely fantastic class, my friend. I'm going to check the chat group one more time to see if there's any other questions. What about
I want to tell you one more thing.
Yes.
There was a time when I was afraid, and I knocked on a door, and it was a screen door, and I could see the mom on the couch. And a 5-year-old little child came to the door, and I said, "Is your mommy home?" And she goes, "It's a salesman, shut the door." And the 5-year-old slammed the door in my face. I'm like, okay, this is what door knocking is. And that does happen, and you just have to laugh and go to the next door.
Absolutely. I got yelled at one time when I was door knocking, and it made me stop door knocking. I just got sick of it. But the thing is and then there was another thing. It said, do you ever feel like I don't want to bother someone just getting home?
No. Because my mindset is that I'm hunting for the people who need help. And so I have a profession and an expertise in order to help these people. So I don't feel like I'm disturbing people. And if they so desire and they say, "I don't want to talk to you," I say, "Thank you, have a great day." And I go back again next month when they're having a better day.
Absolutely. It's just about being of service. So Susan Ebert, you want to tell people where they could find you, and then we'll bring on Christian Stone?
Where you can find me?
Yeah, where they can find you. Almost everybody in this, we've got 4 people, and all of them are local.
So you want to say my brokerage?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. So you can find me, and if you need any help, I am the broker at David and my collaborative brokerage, Signature Real Estate Group here in Marietta. You are more than welcome to email me. You're more than welcome to phone me. I'm happy to help anyone and come alongside David in this journey of everything that he's doing, changing your lives at an early stage. It's a great opportunity. My cell number is 619-200-2376. Now, remember, I'm a door knocker, so I will not answer the phone.
And it's the truth. Very rarely. All right, well, Susan Ebert.
Text me.
Well, I appreciate you being on for the high school student. I'll see you next week for the adult class. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring on Christian Stone. Thank you, Susan.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Bye. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay. So now you're looking at my big ugly mug here really quick before I bring on Christian Stone. Christian Stone.
What's
Welcome
up?
to the show, my friend.
How are you?
I'm excellent. I know that you're quite the door knocker yourself, and that you like to get out there and door knock it. But you spend more time on the phone than anybody I've ever met in my entire life, and you're incredibly efficient at it. So can you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and let everyone know what you do?
So first of all, Susan, you did absolutely amazing. If you're still watching, I even took some notes down like, wow, okay, that was really good. As far as myself, me and you started, I think, almost the same month and the same year, and just went to the top really fast by doing a lot of hard work, right? I think you chose one path, which was open houses. Susan talked about door knocking. I'm going to talk about cold calling. So if everybody watching combines those and does all of them, I mean, you're going to be insane.
Really, and at the end of the day, you pick one, you're going to be great. You know what I mean? You pick two, you're going to be extraordinarily wealthy. So I'm going to send it to you, Christian, and then so Christian's going to talk to you guys about cold calling, and then we'll bring on Melissa to talk about open houses. The floor is yours, my
Sweet.
friend.
All right. So, I mean, I've been an agent literally since 2014. I started when I was 22 years old. I've sold close to over 500 homes, just over 500 houses. And honestly, the first 3 years was just cold calling. It was hammering the phones. It was getting told no, no, no to get that next yes. I was super scared. I had the fear of rejection. I had the fear everybody would tell me no, this wouldn't work. But why I like cold calling, I still like door knocking. It's a very lucrative part of my business, but cold calling is the next call is my next deal or my next person to help, right? I always say humans want to take the path of least resistance. They don't want to, if a tree falls in front of you, you're going to walk around it, right? You're not going to go over the tree. As a new agent, I was like, okay, I'm going to take the path of least resistance. I'm just going to put a couple open house signs up, and that's nothing, if everybody does open houses, that's fine. And then wait for somebody to come to my open house. But my thing was I took my business and I approached it as I have to be aggressive and active and go and find people rather than waiting for them to come to me. I wanted to be very active. And like I said, I was 22 years old. I was young. I was like, I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm going to make $100,000 a year. And let me be honest, with cold calling efficiently, you could make $100,000 a month. So take that into consideration. What we were scared for, and I looked down because I took notes because I'm very scripted. What everybody is scared to get on the phones to do is they don't know what to say. So the first thing I say is learn scripts, learn what to say, internalize them. If somebody says, no, I'm not interested. My house just expired. I'm going to try and sell it by myself. Learn exactly what to say to that objection. They're just telling you they're not interested. That's all they're telling you. But they are interested because their house was listed before. So obviously, they just need a good agent, a different approach, something like that. So the first thing I say with cold calling is internalize the scripts, learn what to say. That way you're more confident in doing what you do. I realized basically the better I became at my scripts and the better I became at talking to people, the flow, everything like that, the more money I made. Like if somebody said, hey, no, I don't want to sell my house. I'm going to sell it for sale by owner. And I said, I can totally understand, but let me tell you how that's actually going to hurt you rather than help you. And that one little thing changed my business to going from, one listing a month to 6 listings a month. Once again, we want to take the path of least resistance, right? We don't want to have to learn the scripts. We don't want to have to learn exactly what to say. We don't want to be told no. That's scary as heck, especially door knocking. That's worse, in my opinion. If somebody slams their door and they're just like, I don't want to talk to you, get the heck off my porch, get out of here. That's worse to me than them hanging up. Because when they hang up, I'm in my home office right now. It's comfortable. I could just go to the next person. I literally hit next on my dialer and I'm done. I don't have to see that person. I don't ever have to talk to him again. But what I focused on was basically getting one lead a day. I needed one lead that wanted to buy or sell real estate, like literally a day. That's all I needed. So you got to have a schedule. As a new agent, everybody's like, I'm 18 years old. I have to work my job, my part-time job doing this, whatever it may be. You can call for 4 hours a day. You can't tell me you can't. I worked at Hemet Hospital from 3 p.m. in the afternoon till midnight. And then I did real estate full-time after that for, I think 9 months until I saved enough money to quit my full-time job and do real estate. So everybody should write down a schedule. And in my opinion, 4 hours a day of lead generation and trying to find a lead is enough as a new agent. I would say as an agent from 1 to 3 years in the business, you need to be generating new leads 3 hours a day, at least 3 hours a day. So write this down. I'm gonna give you a second. Take out a pen. So our average commission, I wrote it down in my notes. So basically you find one lead a day. That's 5, say, a week. And if only one out of those 5 decide to list their house with you, that's 4 listings a month. My average commission is $6,000. So now, out of one lead a day, I make $24,000 a month. Times that by 12, I make almost $300,000 a year, my second year in real estate. And I wish I could show you guys my board. I literally put it up on a board, $300,000. And I was in nursing school thinking making $100,000 a year was like crazy insane. So literally that's what I did. And that it kind of leads me to the next thing. When you're cold calling, you have to track your numbers. I'd say the easiest people to cold call your first year is the people you know. Hey, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, cousins. Do you know anybody, friends, family, work partners, whoever looking to buy or sell? Super easy, right? Rather than expireds, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold. You can get warmed up with the ones who aren't going to say, you can't say it, the mean things to you on the phone. But you can get warmed up with your family members who are like, hey, what's up? Cousin Chris, it's Christian Stone. I just wanted to tell you, I just got my real estate license. If you are looking to buy or sell, I would love to help you. Or if any friends or family, I would love to help them. Get warmed up, learn those people, and then learn your script and start calling the hard ones, the for sale by owners. Because the reality is we make them more money. The expireds, if the house expired in this market, especially, it was probably the agent, honestly, not doing a professional job, photos, price, whatever it may be. Honestly, it could be 1,000 different things. Start on those. I just sold a house in your neighborhood. Hey, what's up? David Serpa, it's Christian Stone. Hey, I just sold a house right around the corner from you. Dude, we sold it in 3 days for $20,000 over asking. I was just wondering if you have ever thought about selling your home. Like, that's how easy it is. Yes or no? They say maybe yes, maybe in 6 months. Put them in your database, 6 months. David Serpa is looking to sell his home in 6 months. Boom, click, done. Follow up with him. Mail him a card introducing yourself. It's that easy, you guys. Honestly, for me, what I focused on was the 4 hours a day, making the contacts, and then customer service. I always had to be available on my phone, or I always had to hire an assistant or somebody to answer my phone. But for me, the lead generation was number one, 4 hours a day, all the way till year 3. And I think my first million was year 3 in real estate. And it was from cold calling, a little bit of door knocking like Susan did. Usually by year 3 or 4, if you're doing a lot of business, like David will tell you next, you're going to start spending some money in marketing. You're going to start having some partners, things like that. That all comes with it. But the new agents, they want all that instantaneously. And let me tell you, there's no magic pill. Being 22 years old, I thought there was some magic pill I could take, give that guy $10,000 and I'm a millionaire. No, dude, it's just hard work. It's just going through the grind. It's getting told no, 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 no to get that one yes. So that's all I looked for. Honestly, Serpa, hop back on for some questions. I'm going to leave you guys with this. And it's a quote that I actually forgot who gave it to me, but the consistency in which you approach your daily activities determines the consistency in which you will be paid. I hope you guys wrote that down. The consistency in which you approach your daily activities is the consistency in which you will be paid. That's actually pretty simple, right? Real estate is actually simple, but it's very hard, right? It's a lot of hard work, but it's very simple. But it's simple, hard work. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense.
Yeah, you're back on my screen now.
You do the ordinary extraordinarily, right, my friend?
You just have to work really, really hard. You have to do what the others won't do. That it's so cliche. It's that, that quote, do what, the 1% will do, not the 99%. But it worked. You know that. We started at the same time. I met you putting up your open house signs. Do you remember that?
It's funny when we think about that. Like, we literally met each other like in the first couple months of our real estate careers, doing the same different kind of stuff, and we both had a lot of success. So, Christian, to go ahead and recap before I bring on Melissa.
Yeah.
So, Fred's saying, what's the ratio of no's to yeses that you're getting on your phone calls?
Dude, right now, okay, so just so everybody knows, I'm 7 years in the business. I took last year off, actually, and I closed 56 deals last year off traveling. And I would probably say right now, being back in the grind for 2 weeks, it's almost 100 to 1 or 2.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, my brother, it's pretty extraordinary success that you've been able to have. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to bring on Melissa because she's been very patient. She's been with us since 4 o'clock. Christian, that was awesome. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you. Okay. All right here. At this point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring on Melissa Huk, and she's going to talk about my personal favorite, which is open houses. It's just an absolutely extraordinary thing to get in front of people, to get a chance to talk about business. And Melissa Huk is one of those extraordinary people to listen to. So, Melissa, welcome to the show, my friend. It's so good to see you.
Hi. How are you?
I am doing very good. I'm excited to hear what you have to teach us today about working open houses.
Okay. Boy, you really put me way up there on that list, huh?
Well, I'll tell you
Great to
what, my friend,
see you.
there's a lot of really good and talented agents out there, but you've got a whole
Yes.
boatload of integrity, and everybody that I would imagine walks into your open house, you're going to do the right thing by them and not just look at them as a transaction or a bottom line, but as a real person. And that's why I reached out
Yes.
to you, Melissa Huk. I could have taught the open houses, but I could always learn something as well. And if I'm going to learn from somebody, I'd love to learn from you. So take it away.
Oh my gosh. David, thank you so much. I'm really honored. Am I okay here? Because I kind of am seeing a little bit of a lag, a delay in my talking. Am I okay?
You're just fine. I can hear you just fine. You're all good to go.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for inviting me to be a guest speaker. I really, really have a lot of respect for you, David. I've known you for quite some time, and you are definitely a role model that I really look up to, you and your sister both. So I love you, and thank you again for this opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and just dive right on in. My name is Melissa Huk. I've been a real estate agent here in San Diego for a little over 23 years, in the top 2%. So I'm pretty happy and have really worked very hard to get myself there. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, David, and everybody else that's watching, open houses was actually the fruit of my business. And, when people say that it's a waste of time, don't do them, I totally disagree. I would be, as a new person, I would definitely be, the first thing I would do is ask people in your office, hey, do you have a house that I can hold open? It was a game changer for me. It increased my business tenfold. So there's going to be, to me, there's 6 steps. There's all kinds, but just because we're in such a time crunch, I want to kind of go over the 6 steps. So the first step is you're going to want to check out your competition. You're going to visit other open houses in your neighborhood and the surrounding areas. See how other homes are staged and listen to what the real estate agents are saying, okay? Make note of the features that they point out. They know what today's buyers are looking for, obviously. And as you walk through, try to listen to the buyers' reactions, okay? When I first started open houses, I'm laughing because I remember going through each and every room telling them, oh, this is the bathroom, this is the bedroom, this is the dining room. And today, they obviously know what rooms are what rooms. So I allow them, to have free reign of the house. Please don't follow them around like a puppy dog, because honestly, they don't like that and they feel kind of awkward and weird. You want to be able to be professional, offer them, the guidance and give them information. We're going to go along the lines of, okay, so open houses are traditionally held on non-holiday Sundays, but find out when your nearby homes are holding open houses so that you can benefit from the foot traffic. Step number two is you want to prepare a property description sheet. Real estate agents hand out property description sheets to everyone who attends the open house, and you should too. Collect the following information. You're going to want to get the property address. You're going to want to have the asking price. You're going to want to have the contact information, including the URL to the website or any online advertising. You're going to want to have a brief description of the property, exterior, interior photos, maintenance, HOA fees, lot size, real estate taxes, the square footage, number of bedrooms, number of baths, and things like that. Those are going to be really important things to know because those are things that everybody likes to ask, okay? If there are any special features like fireplaces, finished basements, extra added, high-end things, you really want to focus on the focal points of things that are really important inside the person's home because you are the representation of the open house, okay? You can use programs like Microsoft Word to design a simple and clear flyer, but remember to have plenty of copies available. One of the things that I realized is that I would go with like maybe 10 or 15, and then I realized, you've got to, especially in today's market, you want to have at least 25, 30 flyers, in one given day. So it makes it a little bit easier. You want to have that property description sheet. That's going to come in handy when creating your listing and online ads as well. Okay. So step number 3, you're going to prepare and stage the home. So you've probably heard of staging, and in the process of preparing a home for sale via decluttering, basically, and depersonalizing and neutralizing, among other techniques, you want to keep this in mind. Your home must be spotless and clutter-free. Model homes, model home get offers. Their dirty homes get lowball offers or none at all. And I have had that experience even in today's market. People look at the houses and they're really messy or they're not well kept or, touching up the paint or having the carpets clean, things like that. You absolutely want to make sure that, my things are, let me turn my, turn off notifications. I'm sorry about that. Make it a little bit quieter. Fix what's broken. You want to make smart updates based on what buyers, I don't know why it keeps doing that, but anyway, okay. So you basically want to make smart updates based on what buyers want, all right, and what's standard for your neighborhood. You're going to want to place the furniture in such a way to maximize the spacious feel of each and every room because you don't want a cluttered house and you don't want something that makes the house look smaller because it makes it look like it is a small house. You want to try to open that space up. Keep things out from underneath the bed because that to a buyer looks like you don't have much space, okay? So the more information you have on that, the better. So you learn the 4 steps to making your home an open house ready, all right? So step number 4, you're gonna wanna spread the word, all right? Top real estate agents all over, tap their extensive networks to target buyers and get them into their clients' houses. Unless you are too well connected in getting the word out about your open house, it can be a challenge. It really can be. So try some of these little tips when you're focusing on spreading the word. So you're going to want to tell your relatives, your friends, your neighbors, and colleagues that your home is on the market. Use all the methods of communication that you normally do, like your phone or your email or your postcards, and even door knocking. Is also a great way of spreading the word. Tap into your social networks, including your schools, your churches, your community groups, and your online services like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that new Clubhouse. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but yeah, all of your social media outlets you should definitely be tapping into. You want to place a professional printed for sale sign and a flyer holder in your front yard, so that the people that are coming by, your passerbys, they're going to be able to pick up the property description sheet. I don't put the price on the outside brochure boxes, and now frankly I'm actually not even leaving them at all, because what that does is that intrigues a buyer as to how much, asking questions, so they're going to want to call you. And that's the other thing you're going to be able to do, is you're going to be able to attract a buyer by calling you, because you don't have information out in a box. So that was kind of a smart thing that I did towards the very, very end. But I make sure that I do have a for sale sign, but also you want to make sure that your signs are also community acceptable, because in some HOA communities or housing tracts, you're not allowed to have your own personal open house signs. You actually have to use HOA permitted signs. So be really careful and mindful when you are doing an open house to check what the rules and regulations are about putting out your signs. Very, very important, okay? You're gonna wanna create a website that's gonna promote your house for sale. It's very simple to do. If you don't understand how to do that, give me a call and I will absolutely be more than happy to walk you step by step through all of that, okay? You want to advertise online. You want to do Craigslist, the for sale by owner help sites, and your local newspaper and community sites. You're going to post flyers on public bulletin boards, and again, you're going to probably most likely have to have an HOA approval for things, like that. But you want to definitely, get on your local newspaper or your community site. Post your flyers in bulletin boards or grocery stores, gyms, and some of your workout places that you would. So you're going to want to include quality interior and exterior photos in all promotional material. Folks, please do me one favor. When you're doing an open house, do not use your cell phone to take photos. Spend the money. It's not that expensive. You're getting paid a lot of money. Do professional photos, okay? It really goes a long way when you have professional quality interior and exterior photos. Make it sure that it's in all of your promotional material, please. You're going to want to post a video tour of your home, on a video sharing site like maybe YouTube and on all of your other social media platforms. Advertise it in your local multiple listing service, your MLS. Open house day, you're going to place the signs at nearby intersections to direct people to your home. Don't do some of the things that I do. I cross dangerous intersections and I make sure that my sign is right there in the middle of the four-way intersection so that everybody can see it. That's what I do, but please don't try this at home. And let's see. And then also you want to, so I'm going to go on to step number 5. Be a gracious host. Normally, buyers are turned off by a seller hanging around the house, the open house. But when you're a for sale by owner, they expect to work directly with you. The key is to maintain a professional attitude at all times and give them the freedom to see the place on their own. Also, if your seller has pets, consider asking them to leave them with a friend or a boarding house for the day. Hide all valuables, medication, and other personal items disappear all the time. So please encourage your sellers to take those personal items with them. Any guns that they have in the house, remove those as well, because we are not responsible for things that go missing. And those are one of the things that we do try to let the sellers know. So you want to hide all your valuables, take all the medication out of the medication cabinets and any other personal items that you normally would leave out, like on your dresser. You want to prepare a sign-in sheet for your guests. You want them to fill that out, put their name and their phone number and their email. And you're going to want to greet each guest with a smile. And if it's really important to have that warm, friendly, greeting when somebody walks into the house. You're going to hand them a property sheet and point out the most attractive features of that home. Okay, invite guests to tour the home at their leisure and offer to answer any questions that they may have. Get feedback from each guest, including their level of interest in the home. Some of the things that I like to ask are, can you see your furniture being in this home? Can you see your family growing memories here? Do you have a big enough dining table to use to eat in this beautiful, dining area? Create an environment that can see them living in the home. All right. Those are just some of the pointers that you don't have to do that, but that's what I do. And it seems to work really well because it gets them to start thinking about, what it is that they, it gets them thinking, can they see themselves in this home? Okay. And let's see, you want to get the feedback from them, but you want to find out, including their level of interest in the home, other homes that they have seen in the area, and how this particular home is priced compared to the others that were on the market that they saw. Offer light refreshments such as cookies, bottled water. Put your marketing material on your bottled water when they come in. It just looks really classy and very professional, like you went above and beyond, and it's super, super, super cheap. Okay. So step number 6, our final and last step, is you want to do the follow-up. The follow-up is where your bread and butter is going to be, okay? So the day after the open house, I would send them a thank you email to everyone who attended, your open house, and send them a link to your website or, any of your online advertisement. Within the following week, I personally would call each person and ask if they have any questions about the house, if they are considering it or if they're not. And then you want to go ahead and thank them and ask if they have any suggestions on how to make the house more attractive to other buyers. Those are some of the things that I do. Those are the 6 steps that I do. I also want to find out what's going on in my competition in the area. Go look at other homes. Take note of what's going on so that you look like the professional, okay, that you really are. The last thing that I want to leave you all with is safety, a safety tip. Being female in this industry has proven to be pretty, can be very serious. Please take a buddy with you. Do not do an open house in a vacant property that is 6 miles off the freeway. Make sure that you are, taking every precautionary measures as a female to not be alone while doing open houses. It's very critical because your safety does matter. Download the app called Noonlight. That is an amazing emergency app for you. That way you can hold on to the button while a person is viewing the property. And if there's an emergency, you can let go of that button and it sends an emergency signal right away for somebody to come and help you. So with that being said, I'm sure there's probably hundreds of other things I could probably say, expert tips and secrets to hosting successful open houses. But I think for now, those 6 steps are going to get you probably to where you want to be and get you to that 6-figure income.
Melissa Huk, that was fantastic, my friend. I do have some questions for you from the chat group, and so I'm going to go ahead and fire these directly your way. When you said to get professional photos done, do you recommend that somebody buys a professional camera to take their own shots, or should they hire a professional photographer?
No, you know what? You want to basically delegate as much as you can to your vendors. Find your vendors in your market. Who are the ones that are being most used? I use Curb 360 down here in San Diego. They're fabulous. They do the virtual tours and all my photos for a very reasonable price. You can get all this stuff done for under $200. It's worth the investment. Don't take cheap photos.
There are definitely some the iPhone's camera has come a long way, but some people have an eye for photos and some people do not. If you do not, don't force it. Just like you said, build out your team. Build out your team. I love the purple, by the way. The purple fireplace, the purple chair. Melissa, my goodness.
Oh, that's the whole thing. This is actually brown. This is brown leather that we picked out. It's not purple. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Let's see if maybe you can.
Maybe it's just the camera balance. Okay, so let me jump on to the next thing here. If you have a client that their house is a mess, how do you bring that up tactfully?
Well, I'm very direct, and I just first of all, I ask people, my sellers, I say, would you mind if I give you the best tips for an open house? Because these are things that I know work, and I know you have kids, but just for the open house, would you mind being able to take all of the kids' toys, that are in, like this one room or whatever, they're in the bathroom in the tub? Can we just take those and put those, offer to pick them up for them? I do, and put them in the garage where it's like out of sight, out of mind. But if they need a cleaning person, I have a cleaning person. I always offer, for my cleaning lady to come out at a reasonable fee, or I'll even pay half the cost to have the house cleaned. So having the house professionally cleaned, I think, is also very helpful.
That's great advice. I tell people that hey, so people consider a couple things dirty, and we all have them, and that's kids and pets. So if you want to tuck away some of this stuff while you're over the course of the next couple of weeks while we're selling it, it's better to be seriously inconvenienced for 2 weeks than to be kind of inconvenienced for 6 months and have your equity take a hit.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things that I try to remind a seller of. We're talking about trying to get the best and the most out of the sale of their home. And therefore, the way your home looks and how it's presented is very critical. It's just like when you meet somebody for the first time, your first experience of what you're seeing is like, it sticks in your mind. So let that be the best experience, looking at it. Not like, oh, there was a diaper on the floor, or, there was a banana peel that was stuck to the wall.
A lot of people don't even smell their own house anymore. And I tell people, if you can smell it, you can't sell it.
Yeah, well, even dogs. If you have pets, oh, please, 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 please make sure that you clean up and deodorize and things like that before, even days before, maybe even a week before, because that's like the worst smell in the world is a dog's wet smell all over the floor.
And then I have 2 more questions for you. One is, how much does it cost to throw your average open house?
You know what? It's really not that expensive at all. If you've already got your signs, if you don't have signs, you know what? I tell people, stop spending money, for all these fancy, types of, advertisements and things like that. Listen, folks, social media is free. Your signs, you can get open house signs from your office for free if you need to, and print out your own name and put it on there. There are so many, no, you don't really need to spend a dime. Actually, you can print all your flyers, from your office, so that's free. There's just a lot of free things, and you just got to tap into all of that.
And people don't realize how expensive it is to be an agent. And so anything that you can do, if it costs you $30 to do an open house, and you end up holding 10 open houses before you sell anything, all of a sudden you're $300 in the hole. You know what I mean? And so I would just say, do what you can do. I pass out bottled water and information. That's what I say for all of my open houses.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that I really like is when I first started in real estate, David, Prudential California Realty used to teach these programs where they always believed in having fresh baked cookies because it made your house smell like you were coming home, to your own house. So there's times where I'll bake my own cookies, like 99 cents for, a chocolate chip cookie, whatever, and it just makes it smell real good. Or I'll go to the 99-cent store and pick up a couple of little things of cookies and then the bottle of water. Very inexpensive. And I don't think that I really have ever spent more than $30 on an open house.
Great answer. I tell people all the time, nobody ever bought a house because it smells like cookies, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to recap what you said here really quick, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up class, guys. I know that we're going over a little bit, but there's so much good information. So I love what you said. Open houses are not a waste of time. But if a tree falls in the woods and nobody heard it, didn't make a sound. And so I would encourage you, put up the 40 open house signs, put up the 60 open house signs, put up the flyers. My first open house, I put up 400 flyers. 17 of my 20 open house signs were stolen. And yet I still got a whole bunch of leads because I distributed 400 flyers. And so, make sure that you get it out on social media. You said Go to another agent in your office. Do you have an open house that I can hold open? Don't follow people around. Let them walk through the open house. Don't hold it hostage. You said not typically on holidays. Definitely don't hold an open house on Father's Day. I've made that mistake before. Mother's Day maybe, but Father's Day absolutely not. And so that was absolutely excellent. Melissa Huk, where can people find you?
You can reach me anytime. I do mentorship, and you can reach me at 619-823-6137. And you can also reach me by sending an email, Melissa, Melissa, at Melissa, melissahuk.com. Last place, you can check me out on the website, www.imsellingsandiego.com. Thanks
Melissa,
so much, David.
You're awesome. Have a great rest of your day, my friend. I'll look forward to seeing you next week at 9 a.m. for the adult class.
All right, you got it. Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, my friend. Okay, all right, excellent. So sorry to go over a little bit today, guys. I try not to do that to you guys. I know that everybody's got a tight schedule that they're rocking and rolling with. I'm pretty sure that I got everybody's questions answered. Oh, you know what? I didn't ask her about the sushi with the saxophone. So I think that, so I will answer that question. Anytime that you're spending money on an open house, especially like, if you're doing a high-end open house, you want to do a saxophone and kind of make an event out of it, you certainly can. But I can tell you, I've only listed a few $1 million homes. And I have tried to do the big events where I've had like chefs coming in and people don't show up. Not even the neighbors don't show up for the food and all the entertainment. The only time that I've ever made a big deal out of an open house and just had a huge turnout from making an event out of it was when I sold the oldest home in Temecula. And we just did a big tourism thing about it, did a little documentary piece that you could see the Bell House at Casa Loma on YouTube, oldest house in Temecula. And so we went into the history of that. People got really interested in that. But I can tell you what, if you want to do sushi, you can certainly do it. You might be looking into a little bit of liability right there if somebody ends up getting a little bit sick. But the saxophone sounds like fun, if that's the kind of thing that you guys kind of want to hang out and give it a shot. And if you ended up doing it, consistency is king. So if it was the kind of thing that you were going to do it, I would do it for like 6 weeks in a row, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row at different locations so that you get known for it. The big thing with branding is consistency. So doing something once is great, but you need to do something 3 times a week and do it in the same neighborhood, right? A lot of agents are jumping around. They're holding open houses in different neighborhoods every weekend. And because they're in a different neighborhood every weekend, there's no consistency. And then people don't know where to find them when it comes time for them to want to buy and sell real estate. Okay, cool. So any more questions for me? Doesn't look like it. Fred and James, it's been fun as always. Adam, welcome to class. Happy to see you, and I'll be happy to see you again if you decide to tune in. Janice Lovendahl, I appreciate you tuning in as well. So feel free to come back tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're doing the boring stuff, and then Friday we're back on some Socratic discussions. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to go ahead and kill it. Everybody have a great Monday night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks. Thank you, too.